This is the time and place set for a parole violation hearing for Lynn Johansson. Mr. Johansson, your offender number is 146333. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
My name is Micah Bruner. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole, and I'll be conducting your hearing this morning. On the monitor, you'll see your attorney, Ms. Conyers, as well as Agent Lithgow from AP&P.
How's it going this morning?
Good.
All right, Mr. Johansson and Agent Lithgow, I need to swear both of you in. If I could have you each please raise your right hand. Do each of you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate?
Yes.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Mr. Johansson, did you receive at least 7 days notice of this hearing?
Yes, I did.
All right, and did you get your disclosure packet?
Yes, I did.
And then did you have a chance to meet with Ms. Conyers in preparation for today's hearing?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right, Ms. Conyers, looks like we have 5 allegations against Mr. Johansson. How are we handling those today?
I will admit 1. On 2, he'll enter no contest. 3, it kind of seemed duplicative to me a bit, so we were going to see if we could strike it as a duplicate. 4, he'll admit, and 5, no contest.
Agent Lithgow, any response to the motion to dismiss allegation 3?
See, I'm trying to think what that one was here. I believe that was a coloring book that he had. So no, I don't agree with that one. I don't agree with that.
Okay, we'll enter a no contest on it.
Okay. All right, Mr. Johansson, we need to go over some legal things first. First of all, I need to make sure you understand the consequences of a no contest plea are the same as those of an admission. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
All right. And then you have the right to require AP&P to prove all of these allegations at an evidentiary hearing. That hearing looks like a trial where AP&P puts on the evidence. They call witnesses and put on exhibits to demonstrate that it's more likely than not that you violated your parole in the ways that they've alleged. At that hearing, you'd be able to defend yourself through an attorney that'd be appointed at no cost to you. You'd be able to cross-examine AP&P's witnesses, as well as to call any of your own witnesses and or producing the exhibits you found necessary for your defense. If there were any allegations of criminal conduct, you would have the right to remain silent, but the board could draw negative inference from that silence. Do you understand these rights, Mr. Johansson?
Yes, I do.
All right, and then do you understand that by entering the admissions and the no contest pleas, you are waiving your right to that evidentiary hearing?
Yes, I am.
Do you understand that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then I will accept the admissions and the no contest pleas as knowingly voluntarily entered, and will officially revoke your prior parole dates. So the rest of the hearing will look like this. I'll talk to your attorney, Ms. Conyers, for a little bit. I'll go to Agent Lithgow, and then Mr. Johansson, I'll come to you at the end to ask some questions and any additional information you may want to provide. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Conyers, any additional information and or recommendation?
Yes, we do have a recommendation. We're asking for 180 days and another attempt at parole. He talks about his biggest issue is really staying clean, which he thinks he can do. It sounds like he has a lot of good plans. He plans to maybe live with his mom. His mom is 93 years old and really not doing well, so he's anxious to get released to get back to his mom and be able to help care for her. He plans to return to his previous job, which was cutting fiberglass at Erickson's, or maybe becoming a welder, or even going back to framing. Sounds like he's done that before. He does plan to continue treatment at Alpha in Salt Lake City. And in fact, one day he wants to even start his own business in fabrication. So that's what he's asking for, is 180 days and another attempt at parole.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Agent Lithgow, any recommendation or additional information?
Yeah, staying clean is a huge one for him with the meth. It was his sixth parole. He'd only been out for maybe 2 weeks, smoking meth, and then stealing coloring books from a yard sale off just someone's lawn, admitting to me he's attracted to children while he's high on meth. So quite a high risk to the public. But I'd say at least 180, and then yeah, another chance at parole though.
All right. Mr. Johansson, now is your opportunity to speak. Were you, from the day you got out on parole, was there any time that you were able to stay clean, or did you go back to using meth almost immediately?
Oh, no, I was clean for 3 months. I was at the halfway house and I'd just barely gotten out of the halfway house. That was the week I got into my own place, and I was just trying to get some things and establish my own place, and I was just barely transitioning into getting into Alpha. They told me to come back the next Wednesday, and because I'd already just finished my drug treatment at the halfway house. So I mean I was good. I was clean and doing good for 3 months, and got my drug treatment done, and then I was just waiting to get the aftercare done at Alpha, and I just had a hard time once I got into my own place. I just wanted to celebrate, I guess, getting my own place, and I messed up, got high, and but I was getting into Alpha though, and they told me to come back that next Wednesday to do their orientation.
All right. So we had some good things going for us. That's good. Obviously,
Yeah.
The extra scrutiny of the halfway house was helpful. So what did you started using as a celebration, and were you getting high regularly after that?
Well, no, I just ran into an old friend that was a roommate, and I didn't even know he was living there, but I guess I just wanted to feel better. I've been having knee pain and just issues, and I really wanted to see my mom again and be able to help her, and I really wanted to get back to Salt Lake and help her out, but
So help me understand. So you find this friend, you're kind of going through some stuff. There's some celebration, there's some physical pain, some maybe emotional pain that you're going through. So you decide you're going to get high. You smoke meth, is that right? Or did you inject?
I smoked it, yeah.
All right. So you smoked the one time. How many times thereafter were you smoking?
Oh, it was just that weekend. I did it like 2 or 3 times. After drinking a little bit, I just thought I'd be able to sober me up, and I just messed up, and I've had good clean years for like 2 years here, 2 years there, 5 years here, and it just every once in a while I use, just because of like the physical pain and emotional pain of going through life and all the trials and of trying to transition into the society, and
Let's talk about these books that you stole. So you took them from a yard sale, is that correct?
Oh, well, yeah, they was on the curb of a place that there was a bunch of signs that said free. There was a bunch of kitchen stuff, so I got some cups and silverware, and there's a bag of magazines, and I got a toaster, and I put it all in a suitcase and kind of just brought it home. I was on my way to the store to get some milk that day, and I seen all that free stuff, and I just barely got my new place, and I just wanted to be able to furnish it with some stuff and yeah, so I got all that stuff and I put it in a suitcase, brought it back and yeah, just had all that stuff and I was planning on throwing what I didn't want away, but
Okay. So talk to me about these books in particular. You see these books and you decide, oh, I want to grab these. Was that a conscious decision? What was going through your mind?
Well, there was just mostly magazines, National Geographics and some sports magazines and a Native American magazine. And I grabbed them all and they was in a bag. I put them all in a suitcase with a toaster and some silverware and I needed some cups for my new
that's
place.
fine. I understand the way that so you gather them with these other things,
Yeah, I just wanted some stuff for my new place
but you saw that there was a coloring book in there.
Oh, yeah, so I was planning on taking it back or throwing it away and I kept it in a backpack and I just didn't do nothing to it. The next day I went to work and just forgot to take it back or throw it away and I had it in that backpack and I didn't realize it. I went to work the next couple days and yeah, and it was still left in that backpack. I was planning on either taking it back or throwing it away and I just skipped my mind. I didn't want to. I just forgot about it.
You understand why why we're making such a big deal about this, especially
Yes.
admittedly, and I appreciate the fact that you're open and honest with yourself about your attraction to younger kids, but you couple this with the fact that you're attracted to kids and the fact that you're using meth, it paints a very dangerous picture.
Yeah, I understand it. Yeah, and I was just trying to be honest and and forthcoming with it, and I didn't, yeah, I know I'd messed up with the meth, and yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that you didn't. So did you see the coloring book amongst the stuff and you grabbed it on purpose?
Well, there was magazines in a bag, and I thought they were all magazines,
Okay.
and
So
I didn't
you grabbed
realize that they're yeah.
You didn't know that it was in this group when you picked up all the other stuff, is what you're.
No, I just kind of looked through it. I just seen some magazines. I thought they were, and I just grabbed them.
All right, so let's talk about this other, this other book that had pictures of young kids. I mean, band members looked like when they were younger. And let's just get down to brass tacks, Mr. Johansson. Did you pick up any of this stuff for sexual gratification?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was just trying to get some stuff to establish my new place. I wasn't. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I was.
All right. I appreciate
Yeah,
your
I
honesty.
admitted
I really do. That's a hard thing to admit. So I appreciate your willingness to be honest. And that goes
Yeah.
along with, and you talking with Agent, I think it was Solaro and Agent Lithgow who approached you about these things. So I appreciate your willingness to be honest and open with yourself and with me regarding this information. This will help the board in making a decision. So I appreciate that very much. So your attorney mentioned your plans for release. Did that all sound correct as far as your job prospects and going back to Alpha and living?
Yeah.
Are you able to parole to your mom's house, or are you going to need a halfway house?
I would like to go to my mom's house. I have a brother there. We don't really get along, but he's willing to move out if I'm willing to take care of her. if I'm willing to step in and take care of her. He's willing to move out. And so I'd like to go to Salt Lake and continue aftercare there
Okay.
and be able to live with my mom and help her out.
Okay. What if any mental health issues are you being treated for?
ADHD, I got depression and anxiety. But it's mainly the ADHD, I guess.
Okay. Are you on any medications for that?
Triliptol.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you feel stable using that?
Yeah. It helps. Yeah.
And do you have access to that on the outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any physical health issues that would prevent you from being successful on parole?
Well, I have a broken tibial plateau on my left knee. I mean, I still endure the pain and work on it. Although I do need a knee replacement, but I'm trying to wait till I get a little older because they say I'm too young and
Right.
yeah, but
Okay.
yeah, it's needed.
Gotcha. All right. Well, unfortunately, that's the time we have for today with regard to this hearing. But I appreciate you answering all of my questions. Is there anything that we have not talked about today that you wanted the board to be aware of, or anything else you want to say on your behalf?
Just that I was on my way to get into Alpha and aftercare, and I'd like to continue it in Salt Lake if I can. And yeah, and I just want to thank you all for coming out. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be here.
Okay, very good. Well, I'll take my report to the board. They will deliberate, they'll make a final decision, they'll post it online, and they'll send you a letter in the mail. So you're able to learn, if you're in contact with people on the outside, they can look it up online or just wait for that letter to arrive. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Why is it? What about? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm.
All right. This is the time and place set for a parole violation hearing for Preston Harper. And Mr. Harper, your offender number is 199816. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. My name is Micah Bruner. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole. I'll be conducting your hearing this morning. With us on the monitor is your attorney, Ms. Conyers, as well as Agent Dalton from AP&P. Mr. Harper and Agent Dalton, I need to swear both of you in. If you could each please raise your right hand. Do each of you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate?
Yes, sir.
Great, thank you. Mr. Harper, did you receive at least 7 days notice of this hearing?
Yes.
And did you receive your disclosure packet?
Yes, sir.
And did you have a chance to meet with Ms. Conyers in preparation for today's hearing?
Yes, I did.
All right, very good. We'll turn to Ms. Conyers. We have 3 allegations against Mr. Harper. How are we handling those today?
Yes, thank you. He will admit to all 3 of those allegations.
Mr. Harper, before I accept your admissions, I need to make sure you understand that you do have the right to require AP&P to prove these allegations at an evidentiary hearing. That hearing looks like a trial where APP puts on evidence. They have to prove that it's more likely than not that you violated your parole in the ways that they've alleged. They would put on witness testimony or produce the exhibits they felt proved that you violated your parole. You'd be able to defend yourself. You'd have an attorney appointed to you at no cost to you. Through that attorney, you'd be able to cross-examine APP's witnesses and or produce any exhibits you found necessary for your defense. Do you understand these rights?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand that by entering these admissions today, you are waiving your right to that evidentiary hearing?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. I'll accept the admissions as knowingly and voluntarily entered, and will officially revoke your prior parole dates. So, Mr. Harper, I'm going to talk to your attorney for a couple of minutes, and then I'll talk to Agent Dalton, and then I'll come to you at the end, okay?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Conyers, any recommendation or additional information?
Yes, he is asking for 180 days with credit for about the last 3 months he's served and another opportunity at parole. He'd like to start at a halfway house and then do treatment. He's trying to get into Golden Steps in Logan. He's also contacted the Other Side Academy and should be having his interview soon. And it sounds like he does prefer TOSA at Golden Steps. He likes the format of their program and acknowledges that it is a lengthy one. It's over 2 years. He does plan to do construction work. Once he gets off paper, his plan is to move to Texas to be with his family. He's trying to stay out of trouble and just be him, and he's really tired of this prison life. One thing that he'd like to ask for is ankle monitor to increase his accountability to APMP and to the BOP. And just a note, his aunt may be joining the hearing. He does have some supportive family members, and she was hoping for a termination, but it sounds like Mr. Harper isn't prepared to wait that long, so is asking for another opportunity at parole.
And is that aunt one of the family members in Texas? Is that?
You know, I'm not actually certain.
Mr. Harper?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, Agent Dalton, any recommendation from APMP?
Yes, we're recommending that Mr. Harper complete some substance abuse treatment prior to be considered for release. Mr. Harper was paroled to an inpatient treatment program. However, he never made it there, which is what happens. The majority of his paroles, he immediately absconds. It's very difficult for us to put a GPS on him when we can't get him into the office to do that. That's the first thing he does is he absconds. We're asking that the board no longer consider paroling him to an inpatient treatment program. I believe these last two were to inpatient treatment programs that he just never made it to. We would ask for a termination. However, his expiration date's not till 2033, so I imagine the board will want to release him again. I do think he needs some sort of treatment program, and unfortunately, I don't think he has any support. His family members all are involved in criminal activity and substance use. We also would like him to pay restitution in the amount of $4,970.
Is that extradition cost?
Yes, it is.
And it was what? Sorry, 4,900.
It's $4,970.58.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Harper, now's your opportunity to speak. Tell me, looks like we've had a couple of paroles that have gone poorly from the get-go. From the word go, you've absconded. So talk to me about what happened this time.
I mean, I can't even lie. I just had a moment of weakness. I had a little bit of freedom, and I took it to my advantage and just didn't go. I know it's been 2 different paroles now that I've done it, you know, and I mean, I can't really say anything. You know, it is my fault. You know, I'm learning from my mistakes. I am. I didn't come back on new charges like I normally do, you know, and every day I'm learning a little bit more. You know, how to be, you know, better. You know, I'm here working at the Cache County Jail in the kitchen. You know, I put in to do some programs here. Unfortunately, they ain't doing it for SL4s right now because I dropped out of SAC. And I put an SL4 on so I could stay away from all the problems. Just try to do me and my program. You know, I'm trying to go home, you know, and I just kind of would like to ask if I mean, I know these last 2 pros haven't been successful and right off the gate, but I feel like, you know, if I go to the halfway house, that doesn't give me a chance to have that little bit of freedom right away, you know, and I feel like I can do it, you know, and, you know, I asked if I can do this and I screw it up, and go ahead and do what you want with me, but like, I feel like I can do it this time.
All right, and you talked about not committing new offenses, which is, I mean, that's the minimum standard, but at least you've met that, and so I appreciate that. That's a step in the right direction.
Yes, sir.
What were you doing on parole, or after you absconded? Sorry, what were you doing when you absconded? Were you using drugs? Where were you living?
So the minute that I absconded, I caught the bus and I went to Texas. I was out in Texas for about 17 days. During that time, I didn't relapse until the last maybe week. And, you know, I didn't normally do what I normally do. Like, I did a little bit, yeah. I wasn't doing a lot.
What does that mean, a little bit, just to make sure we're on the same page?
Like, I would take and smoke like 1 bowl and be okay. Just enough to keep me awake.
Like you say, smoke 1 bowl, like in a day or at a time, when you're smoking a couple of times a day?
Just once or twice a day.
Once or twice a day, okay. And what led to your relapse?
You know, just knowing that I was on the run again and that I had failed. You know, I made a promise to myself I wasn't going to do it again, and I did it. You know, and I kind of feel like if I would have known that Misty was my PO, I feel like I might have, you know, done the right thing. But when I got released, I was supposed to go to Weaver Recovery, and they had me down as going to the halfway house. So I was kind of confused at first, and I didn't know who my PO was, you know, and so I was kind of left in the dark on that. But yeah, I feel like if I would have known Misty was my PO, I would have been straight up and called her, because she's been, you know, there to help me a lot. She's been the main PO that's actually gave me a chance.
Talk to me about the family in Texas. Are there drugs involved? Are your family involved with drugs down there?
So my mom moved out there. I don't have contact with her no more after all of this. But I do have contact with my aunt, and she hasn't been in trouble for a long time. That's where I would go if I went out there, is to her house. She's willing to pay for a plane ticket. You know, if I want to, I can do a interstate compact out there. And they're willing to pay for it. But like, I don't really, I mean, my mom's kind of a bad influence on me, yeah. but I can't blame her. It's all, I gotta blame myself. I put myself in the situations. So, I mean, it's kind of hard not talking to her because it's my mom, but at the same time, like, I gotta start thinking about myself, thinking about my freedom. I've been doing this for 15 years and I haven't really been out that long, and I kind of want to have a life.
Are you being treated for any mental health issues currently?
No,
Have you ever been in the past?
just for like depression and that, yeah.
And you don't feel like you need treatment currently?
I mean, yeah, no, like I feel like I'm doing a lot better than I normally do
Okay.
mentally.
All right, very good. And do you have any physical health issues that would prevent you from being successful on parole?
No,
Well, thank you. You've answered all of my questions. Is there anything we haven't talked about today that you wanted to discuss?
no, that's it. I appreciate everything.
Okay. All right, I'll take my report to the board. And they will deliberate, make their final decision. They'll post it online immediately, and then they'll send you that letter. So you can learn by talking to people who can look it up on the board's website, or just wait for that letter to arrive. Okay?
Okay,
All right, good luck to you, sir.
thank you.
I think Mr. Julian is going to have me handle his hearing.
This is the time and place set for a parole violation here for, looks like Yobani Julian, Gyllen. His offender number is 207396. He is not present at the hearing today. Present with me, though, is Attorney Kate Conyers and Agent Misty Dalton from AP&P. Ms. Conyers, we have, looks like Mr. I'll just say Julian is facing felony charges in two different cases, one ending in 1685, the other one ending in 1692. Looks like your preliminary hearing is scheduled for next month. That is related to 3 of the 5 allegations. How are we handling the allegations today?
Yes, thank you. We would waive reading, enter denials, and then ask to continue this for 90 days. In speaking with Mr. Julian on Monday, that was his request that I represent him, and then for what I just asked for.
Okay, very good. Agent Dalton, any issues with that?
No.
Okay. All right, I'll take judicial notice of the pending charges in those 2 cases I mentioned before. I'll note the denials. Will cause to continue the hearing, and we'll set this for a paper review. I'm sorry, Kate. I'm sorry, Ms. Conyers. Did you say how many days? 90 days?
90. Yep, 90. Thank
All right,
you.
we'll set it for a paper review in 90 days. And we'll
Thank
conclude the hearing. Thank you. This is the time and place set for a parole violation hearing for Daniel Buckley. And Mr. Buckley, your offender number is 245817, is that correct?
Sir.
All right, thank you. My name is Micah Bruner. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole, and I'll be conducting your hearing this morning. On the monitor, you'll see your attorney, Ms. Conyers, as well as Agent Dalton from AP&P. I forget, Agent Dalton, did I swear you in already this morning?
You did.
Okay, I thought so, but I couldn't remember. Mr. Buckley, I do need to swear you in for this hearing. If you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate?
Yes, sir.
Great, thank you. And Agent Dalton, obviously you remained under oath for this hearing. Mr. Buckley, did you receive at least 7 days notice of this hearing?
Yes.
And did you receive your disclosure packet?
Yes.
And then did you have a chance to meet with Ms. Conyers in preparation for today's hearing?
Yes, sir.
Very good. And then Sergeant Scott, if you can hear me, I'm having a hard time hearing that microphone. If we could turn that up just a little bit, please, and thank you. Ms. Conyers, we have 2 allegations made against Mr. Buckley. How are we handling those today?
Yes, he'll admit to both of those.
Mr. Buckley, before I accept your admissions, I need to make sure you understand that you do have the right to require AP&P to prove these allegations at an evidentiary hearing. That hearing looks like a trial where AP&P puts on evidence. They call witnesses and maybe produce exhibits to demonstrate that it's more likely than not that you violated your parole in the ways that they've alleged. Now, you'd be able to defend yourself. You'd be given an attorney at no cost to you. Through that attorney, you'd be able to cross-examine AP&P's witnesses as well as to introduce your own evidence, including witness statements and or any exhibits you found necessary. Do you understand these rights?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that by entering these admissions, you are waiving your right to that evidentiary hearing?
Yes.
Okay. I'll accept the admissions as knowingly and voluntarily entered and will officially revoke your previous parole dates. So Mr. Buckley, the rest of the hearing looks like this. I'll talk to your attorney for a little bit. I'll talk to Agent Dalton, and then I'll come to you at the end to talk about what happened on this parole. Okay?
Okay.
All right, Ms. Conyers, any recommendation and or additional information?
Yes, just a little bit more information. Mr. Buckley, in our conversation on Monday, told me that what this came down to is he and his wife had an argument and he left and wasn't there at curfew, hence the violations. He is hoping for another chance and another opportunity at parole. He thinks he'll do very well this time. He will be doing and believes that for the most part, he did a pretty good job at the last parole. This is his second attempt. He was doing treatment, specifically doing his groups. He plans to live with his wife. He does not have a girlfriend anymore. He's fixed his relationship with his wife and he wants to be there to support his daughter. He plans to do construction or landscaping work. And he plans to continue treatment. One thing that he does want to do is he's been talking to people about, there some individuals that are at the prison and part of it sounds like the Mormon Church who provide opportunities for people with felons. And so he's been talking to them about the resources and opportunities that they can offer him. So that's just some additional support that he'll have if given another opportunity at parole. And that's all I have for now.
Okay. All right, Agent Dalton, any recommendation?
Yes, I'm going to recommend that he does 90 days and then upon his release that he paroles to a halfway house for stabilization and successfully completes the first 90 days of GPS monitoring. He just wasn't home for curfew. It was him and his wife had an argument. He was bringing a female to their home and then he left the residence and I couldn't get a hold of him. His phone would be shut off. There was times I could get a hold of him after his warrant was issued, but he wouldn't tell me where he was. And he was just driving around Ogden when we found him with this girlfriend of his. He did have some drug use. I spoke to his treatment provider and therapist who said he was going to treatment. He was going on and off, but he was nodding off during treatment. and admitted to drug use there. Him and his wife have a really unhealthy relationship, which from what he's told me, contributes to his drug use. So I think that's really unhealthy place for him to be. I don't think that's a good place for him to go when he's released.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Buckley, now's your opportunity to speak. It looks like things were going decently for the first couple of months at least, and then things went poorly thereafter. So talk to me about what was working well and then where things went awry.
Well, a lot of it started after my ex-girlfriend got out. I wasn't putting everything into my relationship with my wife, which is my fault. I was still kind of expecting to get back together with my girlfriend, but at this time I've cut all ties and would like a chance to be there for my wife and my daughter.
So when you started to hang out more with your girlfriend than with your wife, that's where we had issues with as far as being in contact with AP&P. You never let them know where you were staying? Is that accurate?
Yes, I was actually basically staying wherever I could. I mean, when I was staying with my wife, I never missed a day. I was always there to see Miss Dalton. Wasn't having any I mean, I did have some drug use there. It's not my wife's fault. It's nothing that was going on at the home. I made it look like that, but really it was just me being a jerk. So me and my wife have talked and we've worked things out, and we both would like a chance to prove myself that I can do this.
What city does your wife live in?
She lives in Weber County, in Ogden.
What did your drug use look like? How often were you using? What were you using? How did you use?
It was meth. It was off and on, and then closer to the end, it was almost every day. And I was trying to get off of it. I was going through therapy and I was trying to get into different groups and stuff with my therapist. We had it set up to where if I popped another dirty, I was going to go into an in-treatment facility on my own free will.
Okay. In the report, there's talk of when you were arrested, you did some damage at your work. Or no, not when you were arrested, but your drug use led to you doing a lot of damage at your work. Is that accurate? Can you tell me about that?
I've not understood what he's talking about. I mean, I was working on a truck and he let me go before I had the truck put back together. I mean, the truck was broken when I started working on it. So I'm not sure what he's talking about, $1,000. I mean, I saved him thousands of dollars working and doing what I did. So I'm not sure how he could say I cost him money when I was saving him money.
Were you under the influence while you were working?
There was a few days I was.
Okay.
And while I've been in here, I've been talking to people about helping me with the something for the cravings and the withdrawal. I mean, they got the MAP program. I mean, I'm doing everything I can to prove and do so I don't have another episode like this.
Okay.
I mean, I'm also doing the solid program. I've entered that by myself. I'm just trying to better myself for my wife and my daughter.
How old is your daughter?
She's just turned 15.
Okay. All right. And so what did lead to your relapse?
I ran into an old friend, to be honest. I was on my way to go get my wife, and ran into them they were in another car at a corner. And I went over there and said hi to them, and that's when I ended up relapsing.
Are you currently being treated for any mental health issues, and have you ever been in the past?
No,
Do you feel like you need mental health treatment?
I don't think so.
Okay. And do you have any physical health issues that would prevent you from being successful on parole?
No.
Is there anything we haven't talked about today that you wanted to discuss, or anything else you want to say on your behalf?
No.
All right. Well, thank you for the information you've given me today. It's been very helpful. What happens after today is I take my report to the board. They will deliberate and they make the final decision as to whether to grant parole and under what conditions. Once they've reached that decision, they'll post it online, and then they'll also send you a letter in the mail. So you can find out by talking to people on the outside who can look it up on the board's website, or just by waiting for that letter to get to you. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any questions for me?
Well, that's it.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Place set for a parole violation hearing for Derek Navarro. Mr. Navarro, your offender number is 1973375. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. My name is Micah Bruner. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole, and I'll be conducting your hearing this morning. On the monitor, you'll see your attorney, Ms. Conyers, as well as Agent Dalton from AP&P. Agent Dalton has already been sworn in and remains under oath for this hearing. Mr. Navarro, I need to put you under oath. If I could have you please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is truthful and accurate.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, there was a noise there. You swear that what you'll tell me is truthful and accurate?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. Thank you. And Mr. Navarro, did you receive at least 7 days notice of this hearing?
Yes, sir.
Did you receive your disclosure packet?
Yes.
And then did you have a chance to meet with Ms. Conyers in preparation for today's hearing?
Yes, I did.
Very good. Looks like we have 4 allegations against Mr. Navarro. Ms. Conyers, how are we handling those today?
Yes, thank you. He'll admit to 1, 2, and 3. However, he'll deny number 4.
And that is the dangerous weapon facsimile
Yes.
replica.
At his grandmother's house, yes.
All right. And is there a motion involved with that?
So yes, we'll deny it and then make a motion to strike it.
All right. Agent Dalton, any response to the motion to dismiss allegation 4?
Yeah, if he admits to the other allegations, we can dismiss number 4.
Okay. All right, so we have admissions to 1 through 3 and a denial of 4 with a stipulated motion to dismiss. All right, Mr. Navarro, before I accept your admissions, I need to make sure you understand that you do have the right to require AP&P to prove these allegations at an evidentiary hearing. That hearing looks like a trial where AP&P would put on evidence, they'd call witnesses, produce exhibits, all with the aim of proving that it is more likely than not that you violated your parole in the ways that they've alleged. You would be able to defend yourself. You'd be given an attorney at no cost to you. Through that attorney, you'd be able to cross-examine AP&P's witnesses, and then also call your own witnesses and or produce any exhibits you found necessary for your defense. If there were any allegations of criminal conduct, you would have the right to remain silent, but the board could draw negative inference from that silence. Mr. Navarro, do you understand these rights?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand that by entering these admissions, you are waiving your right to that evidentiary hearing?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. I'll accept the admissions as knowingly voluntarily entered. Based on that, we'll revoke your prior parole date. And like I said, I'll recommend dismissal of allegation 4 based off of the stipulated motion. So Mr. Navarro, after what happens is I'm going to talk to your attorney for a little bit. I'll talk to Agent Dalton, then I'll come to you to discuss what happened on this parole. Okay?
Okay.
All right, Ms. Conyers, any recommendation and or additional information?
Yes, we do have some recommendations. We'd asked for 150 days with credit back to June 18th since he's been in custody for about those 3 months, and then another opportunity at parole. He has a place he's, I think, previously lived at in North Ogden with his fiance and her 2 children. He plans to return to the same job he has already had for 18 months. That is moving drywall for L&W Supply. And he's already completed his substance abuse treatment and a federal program, but he is willing to do more. And he also has plans to finish his CDL. He started CDL school and he only has 1 week left, so he should be finishing that. Yeah, so that's his plan. Sounds like he has some really good plans, and this was his 2nd attempt at parole, so I expect that his 3rd attempt will be much more successful than this.
All right, Agent Dalton, any recommendation from AP&P?
Yes, we're going to recommend that he serve 180 days with time served for the time that he has done so far, with the standard parole conditions as well as gang conditions in the first 90 days of GPS monitoring. Mr. Navarro did well through the majority of his parole. He was employed full-time up until the end of his parole, which he was just on medical leave for an injury or surgery. he did complete treatment and he successfully completed his federal probation and the standards that they had for him. Up until this last, I believe, like 2 months, he started struggling and was starting to go around family members involved in gang activity. The gang unit had pulled him over multiple times and warned him and told him what it was going to result in if he continued to go over there. And the last time when he was arrested, he was found at a residence where there was a shooter, somebody that was involved in a shooting, and they found firearms, paraphernalia, all things throughout the house, and made it known that Mr. Navarro had knowledge of those things. And then it was later found that he had been going out of state. He does do well. Just every once in a while, he has this really bad attitude, and he thinks that rules don't apply to him, and he just wants to do what he wants to do. And despite being told multiple times not to go over to this place any longer and to not associate with anyone, he did it anyways. But I mean, overall, he can do well.
All right, good. Thank you. All right, Mr. Navarro, now's your opportunity to speak. Talk to me about what was going on that was successful on this parole.
Just my whole family support. I've really grown mentally. I just don't want any part of this life no more. And I've tried to, in the past, tried to steal, tried to sell drugs. It didn't work. It's not that type of lifestyle. That person is not me. So I made it up in my mind that I'm going to go and do it the right way. And so that's what I did, and that's what I was doing. My family support's the best thing. That, like, they're there for me no matter what, you know, and they're there for me through the successes that I've had. The job, I've never even held a job before, and I love my job, you know, and they just motivated me to keep going, even whenever real life struggles, bills and stuff are hard to pay. It doesn't matter. Like, I'll still get through it. And just having that support net to help me pull through whatever problems that I'm having really was helped me be successful this time when I was out.
Fantastic. That's good. Now, these family members who are supportive and a big part of your support group, are they involved in gang activity?
No, it's my brother, both of my brothers, my sister, my mother, my fiance, and my 2 stepdaughters. My grandma, that's the place that I got pulled over leaving, was my grandma's house. And I go see my grandma, she's getting old. You know, I go do her lawn, I go talk to her and stuff like that. But those are really the only people that, and my coworkers at work, you know.
Okay. And so your grandmother's house is what poses the problem. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, sir.
So who is it that's there? Is your grandmother involved in gang activity, or are those who live with or around her, they're the ones that are the problem?
Yeah, it's not my grandma.
Okay. I wouldn't have assumed so, but you never know.
Yeah.
So, you know, understanding Agent Dalton's perspective that you had multiple warnings regarding being around that situation. Looking back, what could you have done differently?
I could have just called, you know. I could have just called my grandma and talked to her from the phone line, you know. Or maybe see if I could have got her to come over to my house, but she won't ever leave her house. She won't never leave. But the reason that I got pulled over once from gang unit, and that was the 5th. And that was the time that I wrote that it came to my knowledge that something had happened, of something of a shooting. Well, I didn't go over there from the 5th to the 12th. And I asked my cousin, the one that they're saying was the shooter, what had happened. And he told me that it wasn't him, and that he would show me his friend ended up getting in trouble. He sent me a thing from Weber County to show me that he wasn't the one that was the shooter, and that his friend was charged with it. So that's why I felt like it was okay for me to go back over to my grandma's. And I wasn't even there for more than 8 minutes. You know, I just barely got off of physical therapy and on my way home to go get my fiance to go to Costco or Sam's Club.
Hmm.
But what I am gonna do, like, if I'm not, I can't go over there then, you know? That's all it comes down to, and that's the step that I'm willing to take in order to not ever have to come here again.
Were there any, talk to me about the trips to Las Vegas. What was that all about?
So in 2022 of December, I went to Vegas. I had it approved through Trina Whitehead. In April of 2024, I didn't. In December of 2022, I went for Christmas with my fiance's family. We had Christmas out there. I have videos and everything of me being out there. Well, my stepdaughter had a baby in 2023 of August. We made a trip down there in 2024 to the same residence, and we were able to see our granddaughter. And I have videos and pictures of that as well. I did not have permission to leave in 2024, but I did have permission in 2022. And Trina Whitehead did not document it. She has failed to document my UAs that I've had previous. I've only had, on my blue packet, it says that I've only had 7 UAs that were all negative, and that was with Misty Dalton. I had completed substance abuse treatment and had gotten an email from Kathy Johansson at Alpha Counseling to send to Trina Whitehead, and she failed to document that. So whenever I got Misty Dalton, she asked me if I was completed substance abuse, and I was like, did that already, you know?
Okay.
And so, yeah.
All right. No, I understand that. Was there drug use on this parole at the end there?
Marijuana.
Okay.
I was smoking marijuana, daily. I was.
And then I show that you have a write-up, disciplinary conviction for substance use while in the prison.
So I got locked up June 12th. They didn't UA me at all. I get to down here July 31st, and I popped up dirty for cannabis and marijuana, and that was the use that I had whenever I was out on the street.
Okay.
And my levels, they said like the levels start at 50. I was at like a 98 or something like that, and that the levels go up to like 400 or whatever, you know.
Okay.
But
So
when I got
Go ahead.
when I got locked up, like I wasn't really doing anything besides going to CDL school and honestly video gaming, playing the game, and I was smoking and just eating and going to physical therapy. So I see why like it sat on me a little bit longer, you know?
Gotcha. Okay. Any physical health issues that would prevent you from being successful on parole?
No.
And then, what mental health issues are you being treated for?
Depression. I'm on Lexapro right now. I just barely started it probably about like 25 days ago. Because I did get a little depressed out there. Kind of felt like, because I honestly was doing pretty good, and I would think like the people that I've lost in my life, like they were good people too, you know, and they should have had an opportunity to be where I was at, you know. And so sometimes that would make me really depressed, you know. Like even the really successful days like that I would have, I'd still kind of feel down about it.
But you weren't taking any antidepressant while you're out, it's just since you've been back.
Yes.
And how do you feel that that's working for you?
It's working. Like I don't see like myself getting really depressed or stressed out. Like at first I was kind of like jittery, like I didn't know how to take it. I almost was not about to take it, but my fiance, she's a registered nurse, and she told me like you gotta get it through your bloodstream, and so that's what I've been doing, and I feel a lot better in my head. I communicate, like I'm not really antisocial, like I can talk to people that are having disputes or talking about debates or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not somebody that's argumentative or closed off or just think that my opinion is the only opinion that matters.
Okay. Well, wonderful. Thank you for all this information. You've answered all of my questions. Is there anything we haven't talked about today that you wanted to bring up?
I know they're probably gonna revoke and restart my parole. I have my CDL, my permit goes up in November. I sent pictures or emails to the board, and I was just seeing if I know the AP&P recommended 6 months. I just want to get out there as soon as I can. My fiance's with 2 stepkids that she needs help as soon as possible. I got my job waiting for me, and plus school's ready to let me get done with it so I can get my license and be able to go on to my career.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for all that information. After today, I take my report to the board. They'll deliberate, make their final decision. They then post it online, send you a letter in the mail. So you can find out faster talking to family who can look it up online. But if not, just wait for that letter to arrive. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. All right. That's it. Jared, you're up.
On record.
All right, today's the time and place scheduled for a parole violation hearing for Mr. Remind me how to say your first name. Is it Rupena?
Yes, sir.
Rupena Tupuola, offender number 228429. Is that you, sir?
Sure.
Sir, my name is Jared Chappell, hearing officer of the Board of Pardons and Parole. I've been assigned to conduct your hearing this morning. On the monitor, you should be able to see your attorney, Ms. Conyers, as well as Agent Katsilas. Can you see each of them?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Tupuola, Agent Katsilas, I'll be taking testimony from each of you. If you could each raise your right hand to be placed under oath. Do each of you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate?
Yes.
Mr. Tupuola? All right.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tupuola, did you receive at least 7 days notice of today's hearing?
Yes, sir.
Did you receive your blue disclosure packet?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, you can lower your hand. Did you have an opportunity to review that information?
Yes, sir.
And did you have an opportunity to meet with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready to proceed today?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Conyers, I think we were here a couple weeks ago. Mr. Tupuola had some pending charges. That case has now been resolved, and we're back. Is that accurate, and how would you like to proceed?
Yep, that is accurate. So I don't think we did any admissions, however. So we'll do admit 1 and 2, no contest on 3 and 4, and then he did plead guilty to number 5, failure to stop, and we're asking to strike 6 through 9 as they were dismissed for plea.
Okay. Ed, you can't see that's what's your response to dismissing 6 through 9? And I do believe Ms. Conyers is accurate that they were dismissed.
Yes, if they were dismissed for plea, then APMP would maintain only the remaining allegations.
Okay. So you're okay with dismissing 6, 7, 8, 9?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Conyers, your recommendation?
Yes, first, I'll note that he did try interstate compact in Oklahoma. His sister, the board likely received a letter from his sister informing them that he just really doesn't have a support system in Utah. His siblings and nieces and nephews are in Oklahoma. Anyway, but what he's asking the board for is actually a termination. He's hoping for a termination within 6 months. He doesn't expire until 2026, but thinks that a termination will work best. And I think maybe his plan would be to return to Oklahoma. However, he would do another parole. And if he does another parole, he does not want to do a halfway house. He hopes to do, because of just some bad situations at a halfway house, he'd want to do treatment, specifically at Weaver Recovery. And he plans, sounds like he's very employable. He has both his forklift and machine operator licenses. So he should be successful with employment if given the opportunity, well, regardless of a termination or another parole. That's all I have for now.
Agent Katsilas, response and recommendation.
Mr. Chapula's actions presented a substantial risk of loss of life to everybody involved in that chase. APMP would recommend the maximum allowable time. I don't know if I can recommend beyond 180 days. I would ask the board to impose whatever maximum sanction they can before considering him again for parole.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, sir.
All right. Now, Mr. Tupuola, I've heard from everybody but you. What would you like me to know, sir? Let's start with the new conviction. What happened with that event, and then we'll just work our way from there.
So just basically like I was just saying, like I don't have any so basically here in Utah I have nothing but bad influences and bad choices and bad friends. Basically that's what I've been trying to tell my board attorney, and just basically letting me try somewhere else new because I don't have no support system here in Utah. So basically if I get out, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I can I've been trying
Before
to
we get that far, just tell me what happened with the new charge.
the new
happened?
charge. Like what do you mean? Like What led up to it, or?
Yeah, what led up to it, what happened, all that kind of stuff. I just have like a 4 sentence version of what happened, so I just want the big picture.
Oh, so just basically being under the influence of of methamphetamine and drugs. That's what led up to it.
So you're under the influence of meth. What, any other drugs?
Marijuana.
Okay. Alcohol,
No, no alcohol.
heroin, cocaine.
No, no, sir.
Okay. So you're driving down the road, police try to pull you over for some kind of a traffic violation, and you take off, right?
Yeah.
So why didn't you just stop? Why did you take off?
Because that's the mentality that's embedded in my head, and that's the reason why I was trying to ask for a recovery, but at the same time, like, that's just the mentality that was stuck in my head. As if a cop's chasing me, then of course I'm just gonna take off.
Well, they don't chase you if you don't take off. If you pull over, then they pull over with you, and it's not a chase.
Yeah, but I'm already on the run from AP&P, so
Okay, so you were a fugitive at that time?
yeah, I'm a fugitive. Yeah, I was a fugitive at that time.
So you run from him, you get into a traffic accident. Did you hit another car, or what did you hit?
Nobody. I didn't hit nobody. I just ran onto
Like into concrete barriers or something?
yeah.
And then you took off on foot?
Uh,
Were you injured?
no.
And then it looks like you gave a false name or false ID when you were arrested.
Yes, sir.
How long had you been a fugitive?
I think a month and a half, maybe.
Okay. And were you supposed to be in Oklahoma at that time, or what was the interstate compact?
Oh, the interstate compact I was putting in for this.
Oh, for
This
this
time.
parole. Okay,
Yeah, for this parole.
okay, perfect. So
Sure.
you'd absconded prior to taking off, and then got these charges. How frequently were you using?
So after I absconded, probably every day.
Okay. What about prior to? Did you use it all before?
No.
Okay. Any gang involvement?
No, sir.
Any mental health concerns?
No, sir.
How's your physical health?
Real good.
Were you in any programming or anything? How long were you out? You were only out about a couple weeks before you took off, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't really have time to get into anything?
Not really, sir. I was in the program there at the halfway house.
Why did you abscond?
Just like I said, just a bad area. You know what I mean? And because if you could see the new charge that I was that I put into the word of failure, the chase happened. It's just right down the street. You know what I mean? And so basically, if I get put into an area like that, you know what I mean? I walk down the street, and I kind of know a lot of people down there. So it's just bad influences, bad choices. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I make those choices, but at the same time, why would I want to put myself in a situation like that again?
When you were a fugitive, where were you living?
I was living basically where I could, just with friends.
Okay, just kind of like couch surfing.
Yeah, basically.
So what would your plan be going forward? I mean, it sounds like you prefer a termination, but if the board isn't willing to grant a termination, what would your plan be?
Just go to Oklahoma, stay with my sister. My sister already has everything set up for me. She has a job lined up for me to go stay with, go work with my other brothers, or my nephew.
What kind of work?
So over there, so her ex-husband's mother-in-law works at this thing called Bar S. It's like a meat packaging system. They get paid like $20-some. You know, there's Goodyear that her ex-husband works at. She can give me a job at Goodyear, changing tires.
Okay.
Just something until I get back on my feet. But she has a room for me to stay with her. It's just her and the kids. So
So if you're if you're granted parole, if the board issues another parole, are you willing to sign that parole agreement?
yes, sir.
And then you'd look at going to interstate compacting to Oklahoma with that.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, she already called the AP&P office down there. She said they're just waiting for our end to give me a date. So
Have you submitted the paperwork yet?
no, I'm just waiting for after this to go submit a paperwork.
Okay. I mean, if that's something you're interested in, then you could start the paperwork because it does take a little while and it's something you can start while you're sitting there rather than waiting.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else you want to discuss that we haven't covered?
No, sir.
Agent Catsilis, anything, Dad?
I would like to offer additionally that the court did sentence him to 0 to 5 in prison and suspended that prison term.
Right.
I believe the court's intention in doing that would have been for Mr. Tapula to participate in another parole. I don't believe they would have convicted him for this and then just broadly waived his sentence.
Sure.
So I would offer that the idea of a termination would be off the table.
Okay. All right. Ms. Conyers?
Nothing to add. Thank you.
All right. All right, Mr. Trupel, what I'll do today is I'll accept your admissions to allegations 1 and 2, as well as your admission to allegation 5, taking judicial notice of the new conviction. I'll accept your no contest pleas to allegations 3 and 4. We'll note your denials to allegations 6, 7, 8, and 9 and recommend those allegations be dismissed for stipulation. With that all done, I'll recommend that your parole date of March 26, 2024 be revoked. You've been through this process before, but let me give you a reminder what's going to happen today. I'll write a report. That report will include Ms. Conyers' recommendation as well as AP&P's recommendation. The board members will review it. They'll make a vote. Once they reach their decision, you'll receive a written notice from them. It could take a couple of weeks for that notice to work its way back to you. So in the meantime, if you have contact with your sister or anybody else on the outside, let her know she can check the board's website. The decision should be posted there sometime next week. And then she can let you know so that you're not waiting around wondering what's going on, okay?
Okay, yes, sir.
All right. Anything from anybody?
No, sir.
Hearing nothing, that'll conclude the hearing. Thanks, everyone.
On record.
All right, today's the time and place scheduled for a parole violation hearing for Mr. Michael Land, offender number 47236. Is that you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Sir, my name is Jared Chappell. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole. I've been assigned to conduct your hearing this morning. On the monitor, you should be able to see your attorney, Ms. Conyers, as well as Agent Fairbrother. Can you see each of them?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Land, Agent Fairbrother, I'll be taking testimony from each of you. If you could each raise your right hand to be placed under oath. You as well, Mr. Land. Do each of you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Mr. Land, did you receive at least 7 days notice of today's hearing?
Yes.
Did you receive your blue disclosure packet?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Have you had a chance to review that information?
Yeah, I understand. I understand everything.
Okay. And did you have an opportunity to meet with your attorney? Are
Yes.
you ready to proceed today?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Conyers, how would you like to proceed?
Yes, thank you. He'll admit to 1 and 2. We're asking to deny and strike number 3. That wasn't charged.
All right, Agent Fairbrother, your response to dismissing 3?
He actually did plead guilty to that. Just gave him
Did
credit
he?
for time served.
To 3?
Was that the Class A misdemeanor, the possession of a dangerous weapon?
No, that's 2. 3 was unauthorized
Oh,
parking.
excuse me. Sorry, I was confused. Yeah, no, we can dismiss 3.
Okay. Ms. Conyers, with that, your recommendation?
Excuse me?
Yes, thank you. So my recommendation is that 90 days and another attempt at parole. His main focus for this next parole is he really needs to be there for his aging mother, is what he tells me. His plan is to live with a friend in Salt Lake City. He plans to do construction work. He doesn't believe that he needs treatment. He may be open to doing that, but he doesn't believe that he needs treatment. That's all I have for now.
90 days credit for time served, I assume.
That's right. Thank you.
All right, Agent Fairbrother, your response and recommendation?
I mean, Mr. Land has been here twice. He's absconded both times from Fortitude. This last time he got picked up on new criminal charges. I agree that he needs another chance at parole, but on this previous parole attempt, he also had 2 other drug use violations. I think having him go into an RSET program would be the most beneficial for him long term. So if we're going to do 90 days of parole, I would suggest that he go into some sort of residential or CCC treatment.
All right, anything else, Doug?
No, sir.
Oh, thank you. All right, Mr. Land, tell me what happened. Let's start with absconding. How long have you been on parole before you absconded?
I believe 3 months. I completed the ankle monitor,
Okay.
and the purpose of me absconding is because the ankle monitor was on my ankle longer than 90 days. It should have been taken off 90 days prior to me running. So I was stressed out, and I wrote my Fairbrother a couple times and asked him, so I can talk to him. And I was always put off, so I got frustrated. I mean, Fairbrother, he was a good pro officer. It's just that at the time, my mom was sick, and so I wanted to be out there, but I was stressed out. And then as for the weapon, now I had a good job. I was working for National Woods. I was working for Labor Finder. I don't have problem adapting to society. I'm not institutionalized at all. I've been in prison 35 years, and I'm not institutionalized. I can adapt to society just fine. It's the purpose for the knife was I camp out. I use it for work. I mean, if you look at my institutional record, I haven't been in no problems in the last 15 years. I had no write-up or nothing in the last 10, 15 years. I don't have no problem getting a job every time I get out, and just me being in a halfway house is I was around people that I was in an environment, everybody's getting high, and I'm around a bunch of knuckleheads, and I was trying in that environment,
it was hard for me to adapt to. And so another reason for me to leaving is because I felt if I didn't leave, I'm gonna catch up, I'm gonna get into a fight or I'm gonna end up doing something stupid. So that was the main purpose of me leaving the halfway house. Well, besides trying to be there for my mother.
You do understand though that you've had prior charges for possessing knives and you're not allowed to, right?
Yes, sir.
So why does it keep happening? It's not like this is the only time it's ever happened.
Because like I said, when I don't, I've been homeless for the last 15 years. Okay, so I use it for camping purposes, and I don't use it for a weapon. I you know
You understand there's no distinction though, right? Given that given that you're a restricted person, there's no distinction between using it for camping or using it as a weapon. You're not
Yeah.
allowed to have that.
Yes, I realize that. I realize that. I do know right from wrong. I do know right from wrong. But like I said, when I'm working, I do need knife for certain purposes, and when I'm camping out, I need it to survival.
You said where you were working. Where were you working at? What kind of work was it?
I was doing construction. I was working at Danny's restaurant. I
Okay.
worked at Hilton Hotel, Chuckarama, Liberty Park. I've worked in some nice places, some good companies, Big D, some of the biggest companies. And I've never been fired. I've always quit.
All right. Tell me about your drug use
Um,
while you were on parole.
okay. I've had problems with my drug use, since I was young. However, it's not something that I can't control. I'm not out there getting high every day. I'm not out there robbing people or stealing to support my habit. I work and I don't deal drugs or nothing to support my habit. When I do get high, it's just because I'm stressed out or it's just I need not I need I want, just I'm trying to escape, just escape reality, just it's just um for stress when I get stressed out.
How frequently were you using?
How frequently when I was working, I'd say a couple times a month.
Okay.
Like like Fairbrother said, I gave him 230s, and that was within a month. And
What drugs did you use? Meth?
yes, that was the only
Okay.
thing I was using. That was the
Just
only
meth?
thing I was using.
Okay. And you don't feel like you need treatment?
Excuse me?
You don't
No.
you feel like you don't feel like you need treatment?
No, I mean, every time I'm out, like me going to a halfway house, it's me being set back, I gotta jump to the hoops. I gotta jump to the hoops. And every time I try that, something goes wrong. And I'm always having uh, a situation with one of the counselors or someone that in the system. And so I get frustrated and I end up leaving, like if I was just like, I've been terminated my number a few times, and like I said, situations occurred, and it was out of my hands, and I did things that I didn't want to do, but it was just a spur of the moment, a heat of the moment situations.
Any gang involvement?
No, I'm not involved in any game.
How's your mental health?
How's my mental health? I'm
Yes.
stable. I'm stable. I have no problem with. I don't hear voices. I am stable.
Okay. How's your physical health?
Excuse me.
How's your physical health?
My physical health. I'm in good shape.
Okay.
I've always been in good shape.
So what would your plan be if the board were to grant you another parole?
Well, I want to get I want to be able to get my own place and get a job, but I want to be able to be there for my mother as well. To get transferred out to Vernal or Roosevelt, so I can be there for her, be closer to her, because she lives on a reservation and I can't roll to the reservation. That's the only place I got to stay. Besides, I prefer to go to a sober living, and then instead of a halfway house, or like I said, I got friends I can stay with, but I've never asked to stay with my friends or my family because I ain't trying to burden them with that.
Okay. All right. Was there any questions, anything you want to discuss that we haven't covered?
No, all that, I just, I'm hoping you'll give me another opportunity to prove myself, to redeem myself. And other than that, I thank you for taking this into consideration. Other than that, I don't have nothing else to say.
Agent Fairbrother, anything to add?
No, sir.
Ms. Conyers?
Nope, thank you.
All right, Mr. Land, I'll accept your admissions to allegations 1 and 2. I'll note your denial to allegation 3 and recommend that it be dismissed per stipulation. I will recommend your parole date of February 20th, 2024 be revoked. What'll happen today is I'll write a report summarizing the conversation that we've had. That report will include Ms. Conyers' recommendation as well as Agent Fairbrother's recommendation. The board members will review it and make a decision. Once they've reached their decision, you'll receive a written notice from them. It could take a few weeks for that notice to work its way back to you. So in the meantime, if you have contact with anybody on the outside, you can let them know to check the board's website. Hopefully that decision will be posted on the website sometime next week. And then they can let you know what the decision was so that you're not sitting around waiting, wondering what's going on, okay?
All right, thank you, I appreciate it.
Anything from anybody?
No, thank you.
That'll conclude the hearing. Thanks, everyone.
Agent Fairbrother,
Yes.
All right, thank you.
I
All right, today's the time and place scheduled for approval violation hearing for Mr. Michael Levine, offender number 14793. Is that you, sir?
Yes, sir.
So my name is Jared Chappell. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole. I've been assigned to conduct your hearing this morning. On the monitor, you should be able to see your attorney, Ms. Conyers, as well as Agent Fairbrother. Can you see each of them?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Mr. Levine, I'll be taking some testimony from you if you could raise your right hand to be placed under oath. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'll note for the record, Agent Fairbrother's previously been placed under oath this morning and remains under oath for this hearing. Mr. Levine, did you receive at least 7 days notice of today's hearing?
Excuse me, sir.
Did you receive at least 7 days notice of today's hearing?
Yes, sir.
Did you receive your blue disclosure packet?
Yes, sir.
Have you had a chance to review that information?
Yes, sir.
And did you have an opportunity to meet with your attorney?
Excuse me, sir.
Did you have an opportunity to meet with your attorney,
Yes, sir.
with Ms. Conyers? Are you ready to proceed today?
Yeah.
Ms. Connors, how would you like to proceed?
Yes, thank you. He will admit to that sole allegation of absconding.
All right. And your recommendation?
Yes, in fact, he is asking for another opportunity at parole. This was his third opportunity, so we're asking for 90 days in with credit for about the 2.5 he's served in another opportunity. He has money saved for an apartment. Sounds like finances aren't his problem, so he should be able to get an apartment. And then he would like to do treatment as well and something positive. He's been learning a lot of great skills and in the SOLID program while he's been in custody, making good use of his time there. One thing that he is looking forward to and is putting as one of his main priorities is his girlfriend has a child. It is not his child, but he wants to help them and believes that it will give him some stability and something to keep him accountable. So that's one of his main priorities. That's all I have for now.
All right. Agent Fairbrother, your response and recommendation?
So this is his third parole. He's absconded from every parole opportunity and usually fairly quickly. It's like about 20 days or 9 days. This most previous one was 45 days. So if we give him another opportunity to parole, we would need to figure out the reason why he chooses to abscond and see if we can mitigate some of those factors. Because I mean, given his history, I don't see a way that he's going to be successful without some pretty major changes. 180 days recommendation. I would also recommend that he be given his first 90 days on GPS unit and be given another opportunity to parole.
All right. Thank you. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Levine. Why do we abscond? I guess that's the big question that we need to figure out. What led to absconding this time?
You know, sir, when I don't plan to abscond when I do. And first of all, Agent Fairbrother, I want you to know you did an excellent job. I mean, there's nothing you did wrong that triggered my doing that. Because when I talked to you, I honestly felt that you were really, really, really trying to help me. So I hope you don't think that was nothing you did, because it was nothing you did. You did your job and you did everything you could to help me. And I screwed that up. You know, and just so you know, sir, I don't want you to think Mr. Fairbrother did an excellent job. And it may sound dumb, but I actually would plan on writing you a letter and telling you that I thought you did that. So just so you know, I think you did a good job and thank you, because you did try to help me. I was too dumb to realize that and too dumb to accept that help. But you went out of your way to give me the help, the positive things to help me out. And I was dumb. I screwed that up. But as far as my absconding, I don't wake up every morning or in the morning planning to abscond. It's just I'm dumb. I did stupid things and I ran into certain people and I just didn't come back. Like right now, when I was talking to Mr. Agent Fairbrother, I explained to him I had money saved to where I was trying to get an apartment. And I felt, only thing is I just felt like I wasn't getting enough time out to get that done. And because maybe I was just too anxious because I finally had a chance to get off the streets and the people were holding my money and they were just procrastinating and it just kind of was getting me frustrated. So I wanted to have more time to be out there to get it done. And per se, I got it done kind of. So I want to I feel like right now it'll be my best chance to succeed because now I don't have to be on the street. I don't have to be homeless. I can get out and I can probably have an apartment within a month. I mean, just as long as it takes me to find one. I have all the positive research. I mean, I've been in this SOLID program and I don't know if you can probably see this, but I've been there over a month and a half and I've already gotten what they call shout outs. I've got 6 of those positive shout outs from doing good in that program because I'm trying to better myself. I'm trying to not think negative. The program does a lot, and even not just for me, for everybody who's in that program. I mean, it says a lot, and I want to try to get myself together because I want to try to help this girl. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, say I do like the girl. I like her, and who never knows where it might lead to. But I want to have a chance to do it. I want to do it because I want to feel like I have somebody that needs me to take care of instead of me just looking out for Michael. I want to have that responsibility to have somebody rely on me. So I really would like the chance to get on parole. I mean, I don't want to have to stabilize. I want like stabilizing the program because I don't want to, I want to get in there and get an apartment, do my best to get out so I can help her take care of her kid because I don't want, I mean, and I want to say our kid because in a way, that's how I feel. I know eventually dad is going to get out and it's going to be their kid, but up until that time, I want to help her.
Okay. Any drug or alcohol use while you were out?
No, actually, sir, I I wrote a letter, but I ain't gonna read it to you. I don't think it matters. I started getting high way back in December 12th, 1985. I quit getting high December 12th, 2022. I have not gotten high since that day because I don't want to get high no more. I want to, the old saying goes, you can't do the same thing, expect different results. I'm haven't done drugs. I don't get high no more. I mean, I'm doing, and I don't do any crimes. I don't, when I'm on a run, I don't do stupid things that are going to give me another charge, other than abscond, but I'm trying to do the right thing for a change. Today's September 11th. On September 24th, I turned 67. I'm not trying to continue doing birthdays in this place. So I want to, I mean, I'm trying to move forward. I'm trying to better myself. I want to get a job. I am on, however, on disability, so the job opportunities aren't going to be that great. But I do know I can go get some type of part-time job. And I want to just have responsibilities to just where I don't have a lot of free time. And one thing I learned about this solid program, I can't keep trying, I'm a loner. And I can't keep trying to be alone because that might be what's triggering my drug use is me always not having nobody else around. So maybe I want to have people around so I don't have this. I'm not trying to get high no more. And I really want to quit getting high. You know, I might have plenty of opportunities on the street and even in here. And I turn them down because I'm not trying to go that route no more. I'm trying to move forward instead of taking one step forward and 3 steps backwards. I'm trying to keep them one step forward and take another one forward and trying to keep going forward instead of coming back.
Any gang involvement?
Excuse me, sir?
Any gang involvement?
Oh, heck no. That's never going to happen.
Any mental health concerns?
I'm 66 years old. I'm too old to be in the gang.
It's one of those questions I got to ask, you know, any mental health issues?
Any health?
Mental health, like any
Oh, no,
history
no.
of,
I'm just naturally crazy.
okay. And how's your physical health?
It's better. I mean, I've had, since I got in prison, if nothing else, I can say I got that. I got both my hips replaced. I mean, I used to walk with a cane and now I walk. I mean, I'll be 6, 7 years old, and there's people I move around better than they are, and they're half my age. So my physical health is, as far as I'm concerned, is good. I mean, I'm ready to go. I want to go back to work because I haven't been able to work since 2004, and I'm ready. I want to go back to work because I just want to just have something. Because one thing I learned in my AA and all that is idle time is a bad thing to have, and I don't want to have idle time. I want to have my time structured where I have things to do, so my mind is not on drugs and all that. I want to be focused.
So what's your plan going forward then?
I want to get an apartment. I want to get a job. I want to help this girl raise her kid I want to help the girl take care of the kid because I don't know when the dad comes off, he's going to want to take care of the kid or raise it. But I want to be there because I just want to have somebody that depends on me instead of me depending on them. You know, it's not about me no more. I've learned that one thing about that in this program. I learned it's not that I matter. It's also now it's the I matter, we matter thing. And it's more than just me. And I want to have that. I've always wanted that kind of structure where I've wanted to have to take care of somebody. So, and this is my opportunity to get to do that. And I want to take a chance. I want to try it out because I think this is going to be the only chance, maybe my final chance of not coming back here because I finally have a reason to move forward because I have an apartment. I have a lot of promising goals ahead of me. And I talk with people in the LDS church and they're talking about that once they can find a release date, they're going to help me get an apartment. So I will probably won't even have to worry about that when I get off. They're going to help me take care of that.
Okay. One last question. Where were you at during the 5 months that you were a fugitive?
Believe it or not, I was right out under I mean, I never hid. It may sound dumb.
Living on the streets or living with
Yes, I was
friends?
homeless.
Okay.
I mean, the day I even got arrested, the police officer was coming. I saw the police officer probably good 100, 200 yards away from me. I saw him coming to me. I knew he was coming for me. I could have ran from him that day. I didn't run because I didn't want to run. I wanted to kind of get this done, get going on this. I didn't want to keep running from the parole. I want to get it over with. I mean, like I said, I had every opportunity to run because he was far enough away that he would not have caught me had I ran. I just chose not to. I waited for him to come to me.
All right, thank you. Agent Fairbrother, anything to add?
No, sir.
Ms. Conyers, anything to add?
Oh, thank you.
All right, Mr. Levine, what I'll do today is I'll accept your admission to allegation 1 and I'll recommend your parole date of November 21st, 2023 be revoked. You've been through this process plenty of times, so you know how things are going to work. I'll write a report. That report will include Agent Fairbrother's recommendation as well as Ms. Conyers' recommendation. The board members will review it. They'll make a decision. Once they've reached their decision, you'll receive a notice from them. It could take a few weeks for that notice to work its way through the mail and get back to you. So in the meantime, if you have contact with friends or family on the outside, you can let them know to start checking the board's website. Sometime next week, hopefully that decision will be posted there, and then they can let you know it was decided so that you're not waiting around wondering, okay?
All right, sir. Thank you.
All right, anything from anybody?
No, thanks.
Hearing nothing.
Hey,
That'll conclude the hearing.
Fairbrother,
Thanks,
I hope you have a good day, man. Like I say, you did everything you could for me, man. And I feel bad because I felt like I let down your trust in me. You know, I honestly believe you did everything you could to help me, and I screwed that up. And I say, I
appreciate
honestly
that.
did have plans to write you. And had I probably, remember when I talked to you when I was in the program, I had that money coming. Had I gotten that money, I was going to actually come turn myself into you and have you take me in here, because then I would have had the money to do that. But I didn't want to go out, come turn myself in and still have to start all over. I mean, it's weird. The day before I got arrested, on a Thursday, that Friday, the money was coming in.
All right.
So I got
I
arrested.
appreciate
Friday,
that. When you're out, hit me up. Let me know how you're doing.
Sir, like I say, I sound weird, but I love you, Fairbrother. You did a hell of a job, man. I think you did everything you could to help me. And I feel like I did. I honestly thought about you while I was on the run. It may sound weird, but you did everything you could to help me. And I appreciate everything you did, because there's people in the program who said you did this and that, but whenever I talked to you, I always felt you were being sincere with what you're trying to do for help for me. And I do appreciate it. And you would have found out had I gotten, I would have wrote you and told you that. And I even thought about writing you in here, but you know how that goes. So, but thank you, man. You did a hell of a job, dude. And I don't know this, board of pardon, man. This guy is a heck of a man. He did a heck of a job. He did everything he could to help me. I blew it, not him.
All right, we appreciate that, Mr. Levine. We do need to move forward, though. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Fair brother, you have a good day.
You too.
I'll think about you on here.
All right, today's the time and place scheduled for a parole violation hearing for Mr. Kip Porter, offender number 87138. Is that you, sir?
Yes, it is.
Sir, my name is Jared Chappell. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole. I've been assigned to conduct your hearing this morning. On the monitor, you should be able to see your attorney, Ms. Conyers, as well as Agent Hampton. Can you see each of them?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Porter, Agent Hampton, I'll be taking testimony from each of you. If you could each raise your right hand to be placed under oath. Do each of you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate?
I do.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Mr. Porter, did you receive at least 7 days notice of today's hearing?
Yes,
Did you receive your blue disclosure packet?
I did.
Have you had a chance to review that information?
Yes, sir, I have.
Did you have an opportunity to meet with your attorney?
Yes,
Are you ready to proceed today?
I am.
All right. Ms. Conyers, how would you like to proceed?
Well, so is this going to be, the new charges going to be added
Yes, ma'am.
to his ward? Okay, so I guess we were planning on admitting to the absconding, and we can still do that. We'll admit to the absconding, but Mr. Porter, it sounds like we aren't going to be able to move forward today because we need you to resolve your case with Judge Blanche first. So I have now sent the court an email, so you have an outstanding warrant that so that they can get you into court and so that you can handle that.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was, we'll talk about it later. Yeah, I thought they just didn't transfer me. I thought it had been dropped, so.
Nope, it is still pending as a second-degree felony. You have a $5,000 warrant, which doesn't really matter. I've now emailed the court so that they know where you are and so that we can get you a hearing just as soon as possible, okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions about what we're gonna do today, Mr. Porter?
No, sir.
Okay. Agent Hampton, anything?
Nothing for me.
All right. What I'll do today is I'll take an admission on allegation 1. It sounds like they will be adding additional allegations related to that criminal offense. I'll recommend a continuance until that case is resolved one way or the other. Mr. Porter, once that case is resolved, I'd encourage you to write the board a letter to let us know. A letter from you gets here quicker than a court order, so that way we can get you back on a calendar sooner than later.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Anything from anybody? I'll conclude the hearing then. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
On record.
All right, today's time and place scheduled for a parole violation hearing for Mr. Victor Padilla Garza, offender number 219009. Is that you, sir?
Yes, it is.
Sir, my name is Jared Chappell. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole. I've been assigned to conduct your hearing this morning. On the monitor, you should be able to see your attorney, Ms. Conyers, as well as Agent Hampton. Can you see each of them?
Yes.
All right, are you okay if I call you Mr. Padilla?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Padilla, I'll be taking some testimony from you. If you could raise your right hand to be placed under oath. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate?
Yes.
All right, thank you. I'll note for the record, Agent Hampton's previously been placed under oath this morning and remains under oath. Mr. Padilla, did you receive at least 7 days notice of today's hearing?
Yes.
Did you receive your blue disclosure packet?
Yes, I did.
Have you had a chance to review that information?
Yeah.
Did you have an opportunity to meet with your attorney?
Yes.
Are you ready to proceed today?
Yes.
Ms. Conyers, how'd you like to proceed?
Yes, thank you. Mr. Padilla Garza will admit to both of the two allegations.
Okay. Your recommendation?
Yes, we do. We're asking for a release and another opportunity at parole. He plans to, he'd like to start at a halfway house or a program. He is looking into the Red Barn program. Last time he was around old friends, and that unfortunately led to the demise of that parole. This time he plans to really focus on treatment. He has two boys to look after, a 1-year-old and a 5-month-old, and so that's his priority going forward. It sounds like he has an opportunity to sell cars with some friends, so that could be a good business opportunity for him. Just as a quick note, he did write a letter to the board saying that he wants termination. He's changed his mind. He does want and a program, so he's hoping for.
Okay. Anything else like that?
Thank you. No, thanks.
Okay. Agent Hampton, your response recommendation?
This one's tough. I know that Mr. Padilla has the 2 new kids. Can I ask him a couple questions real quick before I give my full recommendation?
Sure.
What's that relationship look like now, Mr. Padilla?
To be
Is
honest,
she gonna take you back?
As far as I know, we left on good terms. I got a message from my mom saying that she loves me, but I haven't heard anything else from her. So I don't know what's going on with that right now. I'm not trying to focus on that. I'm trying to focus on myself and my boys right now. So
Okay, that helps me out. I don't think he's gonna like this, but I would like to see Mr. Padilla Garza do his full 90. I have no issues with him getting another parole and going to a program. I think that would be good for him. But I think that little bit of extra time will really put into perspective what he has potentially lost already and what he could lose by continuing that path of behavior.
Anything else you'd like to add, Agent Hampton?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Padilla Garza, what would you like me to know? Let's talk with the absconding. I mean, that's kind of the big thing that is bringing us here, and that kind of leads into the failing the program. When you take off, you naturally fail the program. So let's address that elephant in the room. What happened? Why'd you leave?
So from the halfway house or when I cut off my ankle monitor?
Well, let's deal with all of it.
Okay, so the first time was when I got the ankle monitor slapped on. I absconded. Me and my girlfriend at the time, we got in an argument. I got my emotions got the best of me, so I cut it off and I called my PO, told them I cut off my ankle monitor. I asked him if I was going to go back to prison. He said there's going to be a warrant issued, so I was like, you know what, F it, I'm just going to go on the run. And then I ended up getting caught up, did the first phase of the PVP program, went to the halfway house, got into it, like, my girlfriend was acting weird, so I ended up running from there because of that. So I just know that this all results to me running because of my girlfriend and my emotions, you know? So I need to stop focusing on that and just focus on myself and my recovery and my boys now. That relationship stuff can come last is all I care right now about, you know? So
Tell me about that relationship.
So when I first met her, I got done doing 3 years. We're in the same sober living house. I met her 2 weeks after that. We ended up getting together and
I should have known better because she was on parole too. I was on parole. Our relationship won't work if we're both on parole, you know what I mean? Because she has things that she has to focus on and I things I had to focus on. And like at first it was going good. It was working out. And then it led into both of us getting high and then it just downfalled from there, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Um,
Is she the mother of your children?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So then the issues that she had, you feel have led you to, when you abscond, to cope with her issues or to help her out, or what's that look like?
Well, at first I thought we can both help each other out, you know what I mean? Like we were doing good before we got high. We were doing really good, I thought, and we weren't arguing and stuff like that. I could trust her, but when I started getting high, I felt like I couldn't trust her, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna blame her. I'm gonna blame my own actions on why I absconded because at
Okay.
the end of the day, I have my own choices, you know, and I chose to do that, not her. You know what I mean? So,
So were you guys using together while you were on parole this time?
uh, when I got out doing 3 years, I was doing really good. Like I thought I was doing good, but there were some factors that I had trouble with the living situations and stuff like that. But I was looking into programs. But I wasn't getting high at first, and then I started getting high before she started getting high. Then she knew I was getting high. Then I ended up getting her high, and then it just went from there.
Okay. What were you using?
I was using methamphetamines and fentanyl.
Okay. How frequently?
At first it was not frequently, but then I started getting into it heavily later on down the road. It was like almost every day.
Is that both the meth and the fentanyl you were using pretty heavily?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So that looks like you were a fugitive for about 45 days, maybe a little bit longer. Where were you at during that time?
I was over at my baby mama's house in Ogden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any gang involvement? I noticed you, as of last year, you were a member of the Chicas. Are you still active or what's going on there?
No, I don't associate with them. I modified in here.
Okay.
I don't gang bang at all.
When
So
did you modify?
I modified I want to say 2022 when I got out doing 3 years.
Okay.
Or
So,
2023, my bad. 2023.
okay. So about a year ago.
Yeah.
All right. No issues with that. You safety and things like that. You're all right.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I just still modified. So if they catch me doing any gang affiliation, they'll take it off. And, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm not trying to do any of that.
How's your mental health?
My mental health is good. I went and seen the mental health provider and mental health therapist. They got me on mood stabilizers and
Okay.
then something for my anxiety.
Have you been on medications before?
No.
Do you feel like they're working?
Yeah, I feel like they're working. It's like because I get really bipolar and get really angry.
Okay.
But since I've been taking these pills, they've been helping me out with my anger and then with my anxiety as well. Because if I go into like new environments or a new section, I get anxiety really bad.
Okay. Are you going to be able to stay current on your medications? Are you wanting to stay on your medications when you parole?
Yeah, I do. Why like I got put on medications or seeking for help for medication is because my mom and everybody was like, look, you need help. I think you need to get put on meds. And at first I was like denying it, denying it, denying it. But when I finally went and seen the mental health provider or the therapist, they're like, yeah, you might want to get put on something. Are you looking to get put on something? I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Everybody keeps saying it, but let's see if it works. And then I got put on these pills and I kind of like them. They help me out with my anger and my mood swings are just right. I'm not too angry or down. You know what I mean? I'm just right. So I like them. So I'm gonna try to get because my refills is about to end, so I need to get it re-updated and stuff like that, so I can continue having them.
Okay. And then how's your physical health?
My physical health, great,
Right.
really great.
So if the board grants you another parole, it sounds like you've looked into the Red Barn.
Yes, yes. I know it's a 27 commitment. I know they will help me out with employment, and recovery and all that, all the key factors that I need to help me to be successful. And a 27 commitment that's nothing to me. I can do that all day. You know what I mean? And I know what their objective is to basically break you down and rebuild you up and have new, like, just basically have a new me. You know what I mean? And I'm willing to do that. So
And it sounds like you understand Red Barn can be pretty intense, and you're
yeah,
committed to that.
yeah, yeah.
And I mean, it's not like it's a 90-day program and you can sleep your way through it and then you're done, right?
Yeah, no. I know what they're all about, and it's like I noticed some of the people are like, oh, Red Barn's not what is like they take it all negative, and to me, when people talk about it negatively, that shows me that they ain't willing to change. You know what I mean? If they can't handle words and stuff getting thrown at them, and they follow some rules and they ain't willing to change, and me, I'm willing to change. I don't care if somebody calls me the B or a PBL. You can call me all that I want, a worthless father, whatever, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, yeah, I know I am a piece of crap. I know I did some messed up things, and I'm willing to change that, and I'm ready to rebuild my whole foundation and be successful this time, you know? So
Well, the thing is, it's not like any of us haven't screwed up and made poor choices. It's that moving forward piece. It's the learning from it. And
yeah.
you don't have to let it define you. You understand that you did it and then you move on, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. Is there anything else you want to discuss that we haven't covered?
No, I think that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. I know Hampton said a 90 days, right?
That's his recommendation, correct?
Okay, and I'm just trying to figure out how long I've been down. I know I've
I
been
have
down.
July 3rd. So I mean, logistically, if the board were to grant you 90 days, you'd probably be at 90 by the time all the paperwork and everything was done anyway. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, even if the board grants an immediate release, it's not like that's tomorrow. It's still a few weeks out. So,
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. I
so
know how it works.
you'd be pushing that 90 anyway.
Yeah.
So, all right, Agent Hampton, anything to add?
Nothing further.
Ms. Connors?
Sorry, my darn mute button. No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Padilla, I'll accept your admissions to each of the allegations. I'll recommend your parole date of July 11th, 2023 be revoked. You've been through this process, so you have an idea how things are going to work. I'll write a report summarizing our conversation. That report will include Agent Hampton's recommendation as well as Ms. Conyers' recommendation. The board members will make a decision. Once they've reached their decision, you'll receive a written notice. That notice, like I said, could take a few weeks to work its way to you. So in the meantime, if you have contact with anybody, let them know that they can start checking the board's website next week. Hopefully by the end of next week, the decision will be posted there, and then they can let you know what was decided so that you're not waiting around wondering, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Anything from anybody?
Good luck, man.
That'll conclude.
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, you guys have a
See
wonderful
you
day.
guys in a little bit.
Thanks, Hampton.
Yeah.
to your house because I was at the time I was having a lot of physical health problems,
Okay.
and it was affecting me in ways to where like it was really bad with my mental health, and it was because of the physical health problems I was having. Um, it was just so much more of anxiety that caused me to run. I felt that uh my physical needs wasn't getting taken care of, so I wanted to go self medicate with do drugs and stuff. So that's why I ran. On top of that, I don't feel like I need that high level of care. I manipulated once and got sent to the mental hospital in Bonneville, and because of that, Bonneville thinks that I need a higher level of care. But I'm trying to help Bonneville understand that I was just exaggerating my mental health so I could go to uni at the time because didn't want to be at Bonneville. Um, now there's only now there's only one program I can go to, and it's core. Um, that's a 15-month wait list at the most. I mean, at the least. And I don't want to spend that time in prison. I just need to have I think I should still deserve the opportunity to go to Bonneville because it's a mental health. They have a mental health program. I mean, if I was so severely mentally ill, I would be in current right now, and they obviously don't think I have the same mental health problems. I mean, this was a long time ago, and so I'm in general population now.
So when you say you exaggerated your mental health before, what does that look like? What do you mean by that?
I always see things. I always hallucinate. I see flashes right now of just energy and stuff, and it's nonstop. I hear tiny whispers in my voices in my head. This time I was just telling him that I can't manage it. I can't take care of it. It's out of control. I was adding stuff that I was seeing. I said I was seeing aliens, but really I don't know what I'm seeing because it's so fast, the flashing images. I was saying that I was seeing stuff in my dreams and stuff. And yes, I was having dreams at the time, different kind of strange dreams, but it's kind of stuff I know I should just keep to myself. I mean, I was manipulating. I knew they'd send me to to uni, and I'd be able to be with the females. I'd be able to watch the NBA playoffs. That's what I really wanted to do, was watch the NBA playoffs. But now that I know I exhausted my resources, I'm just like, just give me another chance because that's the route I need to take. I mean, if I was so severely, I'm not that severely mentally ill where I need that help, because otherwise it's not help for me. I need moderately smaller level of care where I can do eventually go to work, get work, and go there myself, where I don't need to have a buddy take me to go and apply for jobs. I know how to do that stuff. So it's like retraining me when I already know how to ride the bike without training wheels.
Okay. Are you on medications currently?
Yeah, and matter of fact, I was taking about 3 antipsychotics and 3 mood stabilizers before. Now I'm just on 1 mental health medication, and that's it.
And is it working for you?
It actually does work, and part of the reason I was having this concern with my mental health the last time was because they switched my meds when I left, and this time I'm back on the same med as I was when I was in prison, and the best choice would be to keep me on the same medication when I get released.
And do you plan on staying on meds when you get released?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have a provider that can prescribe you medication?
Yeah, I have different options.
Okay. How's your physical health?
It's better now. I mean, I'm not having the same problems I was. I got me on the right doses of Suboxone, and before it was the Suboxone was causing physical problems.
Okay. And then you said you left Odyssey to go use. Did you use drugs while you were out?
Yeah.
What did you use?
Weed and meth.
How frequently were you using meth?
During the time I was out, the 3 weeks I was out, I probably maybe used once or twice a week.
Okay. And then did you have a medical marijuana card?
No,
How frequently were you smoking marijuana?
barely, like maybe once when I was out.
No gang involvement, correct?
No.
So you understand that if the board recommends, like Bonneville, that you have to go through that screening process, are you willing to cooperate with the screening process? and be
Yeah, I'm
honest
willing to
with them?
cooperate.
Okay.
And matter of fact, I hope that I can have an opportunity to get screened. I mean, they're going off every time they screen me now. It seems like they're just going off biased opinions with what happened in the past. I'd like to just move forward.
Do you recall if you've ever had like a psychological evaluation?
Yeah, I have. Matter of fact, I had one when I went to uni.
When was that?
Um, approximately this, not this last parole, but the parole before that.
Okay. So
I was at Highland Ridge Mental Health Institute at the Highland Ridge.
So about a year ago.
Yeah,
Does that sound right? Okay.
maybe
All
a
right,
little bit more than that.
Okay. So fairly recent as far as evaluations go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Mr. Hill, any other questions or anything else you'd like to discuss that we haven't covered?
Yeah, I was just wondering if I don't know if you contact the Bonneville after this, but if you can let them know my concerns about and my concerns about how I feel about in sense of me manipulating and me wanting to um move forward in a sense. Maybe
All right.
I'm on board with that.
Okay. Agent Etchell, anything you'd like to add?
No, I'm good.
Ms. Conyers.
No, thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Hill, I'll accept your admission to allegation one. With that, I'll recommend your parole date of April 30, 2024 be revoked. You've been through this process, so you're aware how things are going to work. I'm gonna write a report. That report will include Ms. Conyers' recommendation as well as Agent Etchell's recommendation. The board members will review it. They'll make a decision. Once they've reached their decision, you'll receive a notice from them. It could take a few weeks for that notice to work its way back to you. So if you have contact with friends or family or anybody else on the outside, you can ask them to start checking the board's website next week. Hopefully by the end of next week, the decision will be posted there and then they can let you know so that you're not waiting around wondering what's going on. Okay?
Okay. I have a question real quick.
Yes, sir.
Maybe you don't know the answer to this, but if I have to go to inpatient and it does take 12-month wait list to one of these programs, do I get stuck in prison for that long, or how does that work?
I hate to answer that question because there's so many variables that play into that. So I think we just probably need to take it one day at a time.
All right.
Okay. Good question though. I just hate to tell you something and then that doesn't happen and I've set you up to kind of be upset. So I just don't know. Anything from anybody else? All right, that'll conclude the hearing then. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, today's the time and place scheduled for a parole violation hearing for Mr. Kobe Garcia, offender number 201962. Is that you, sir?
Yes, it is.
Sir, my name is Jared Chappell. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole. I've been assigned to conduct your hearing this morning. On the monitor, you should be able to see your attorney, Ms. Conyers, as well as Agent Nunez. Can you see each of them?
I can't hear you, sorry.
On the monitor, you should be able to see Ms. Conyers and Agent Nunez. Can you see each of them?
Yes, I can.
All right. I'll be taking some testimony from you as well as from Agent Nunez. If each of you could raise your right hand to be placed under oath. Do each of you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate?
I do.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia, did you receive at least 7 days notice of today's hearing?
Yes, I did.
Did you receive your blue disclosure packet?
I did.
Have you had a chance to review that information?
I have.
Did you have an opportunity to meet with your attorney?
I did yesterday, yep.
All right. Are you ready to proceed today?
What's that?
Are you ready to proceed today?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Conyers, it does look like there's a pending Class C misdemeanor providing false information to an officer. I'm not certain if that's related to the circumstances of arrest or not. I don't believe it's part of the allegations. How would you like to proceed?
Let's proceed anyway. He'll admit 1 through 3 and 9 and 10, and then no contest on 4 through 8.
Admit 1, 2, 3, no contest, 4 through 8.
Yes, and then admit 9 and 10.
Any recommendation?
Yes, and just a bit of information. It sounds like he absconded because he didn't have a residence. That's just a really tough situation to be in. What he's asking for is he'd prefer a termination if that is within 6 months. Otherwise, he is seeking parole. He does note that he has a grandmother who's not doing very well, that he's quite close to, and doesn't think that she'll live beyond a year. So he is anxious to get out and spend some time with her. Another thing he wanted the board to just recognize is that he was 16 when he was arrested, and now he's in his 30s. He doesn't really have any life experience on the outside, so it's really hard for him to do parole, which is why he would prefer the termination. And that's all I have for now.
All right, thank you. Agent Nunez, your response recommendation?
Yeah, our recommendations is the same as Kobe and his attorney. We do asking for termination. And she is right, unfortunately, Corey Garcia doesn't have any life experiences. He does a lot of things he cannot do on his own, simple tasks that you'll think someone in his 30s would be able to do. And it's not necessarily his fault. He's just been locked up a little too long. He needs a lot more guidance and everything. Unfortunately, he is an addict. He does use. He surrounds himself with other people who abuse, and he abuses with them, and it kind of puts him back in this the cycle and this paranoia that he doesn't know how to get out of. He does need to learn, and so he needs some programming, definitely needs substance abuse and hopefully some life skills while the time he's in there, so they help him out with those situations. But we're not against him terminating from prison, and we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Garcia, what would you like me to know? Tell me kind of what happened, what led us to here today.
So, I have an issue with having a stable residence. And the reason why that was this time was because I wanted to make sure that I was on time for my appointments, and I didn't understand the bus route as well in Salt Lake because, like I said, and I've been locked up 15, going on 16 years on a 1 to 15, so I have no clue how everything works in the valley. And just to make sure that I was making my appointments with my agent, Nunez, I decided to stay at this person's place, and that right there, I stayed for 3 days because he wanted to see me on Tuesday and then again, I think on Thursday. And just to make sure that I was going to be able to make those appointments, I stayed close by to where the office was at. And the place I was at, I kind of failed to recognize that after 3 days of not being there, you pretty much give up your spot at the home inn. And that's what happened. They notified my grandma that I didn't have a residence. And by that time, I was kind of using, not kind of, I was using, and that kind of spun me into like a little, I panicked, and I didn't want to tell my parole officer about it because I didn't want to get put into a halfway house or somewhere where I'd be restricted access to try to get things together for myself to get out of there. So I decided I absconded, you know what I mean? And this is the same problem that I've been having, and it's just been my issue. Now I have an addiction,
and trying to get that under wraps. You know what I mean? It's a hard battle for me to fight by myself, and then being within the system of where I'm constantly back and forth between being incarcerated and being free, where my family, they see me as I keep coming back, so I must love this place. You know, that's the attention and that's the reaction I'm getting from my family now from being in here. But it's all because I'm simply violating my parole. It's not necessarily that I love this place or that I can't not do it. It's just that the guidelines that are set up for me to figure it out doesn't allow me the timeline to be able to get the stuff situated for myself to figure it out. You know what I mean? So I keep coming back in here and losing what little I do end up acquiring out there. And my family, like I said, I have a grandma. I have no girlfriend. I'm used to always having somebody like that to have like help me pass my time or something to rely on for like a support system. But now I have literally nothing. I have no clothes out there. I have honestly nothing out there now. And my grandma, like we said, was my only support system. She's falling, it seems like, at least once a month, and she is struggling super bad. My grandpa is the same. They don't help each other. They've kind of been in a contentious relationship my whole life. So they've kind of had a hard time, and not having nobody out there for them. I'm kind of just concerned that if I do a long time in here, like over the 6 months that I'm talking about, I don't know if they're even going to be around, just how it's going for them. And I don't want to risk that. That's the only reason why I'm saying I would do parole, but at the same time, it's a waste of my time. Like, parole hasn't helped me out. Like, I can't do it. It is difficult because it's not designed for me to get through it. You know what I mean? I don't have the toolkit in order for me to successfully get through with parole. It's difficult for me to do the tasks of parole for some weird reason. It's just because I don't have an address or the support system anymore. But I feel like if I were to terminate, then I would be able to naturally be able to learn how to get on my own feet, figure things out. I would, of course, have to do the registry, you know what I mean? So I'd do the registry, but I'd probably be homeless for a little bit, you know what I mean? Unless I have some family. The family that I do have, I have an aunt that also lives in Twilla, but she's busy all the time. I can't go there because she doesn't want AP&P to be coming into her place. She doesn't want that like privacy to be violated, so she doesn't allow me over there. But off parole, I think I'd have more of a support system that would allow me to have an address until I figure out my own stuff and then get my own place. But that's pretty much the only thing that I'm trying to get noted out there, that this is something that I've been dealing with since I was really young. And
What drugs did you use while you were out?
it was methamphetamine.
How frequently were you using?
I was using every day because when I was, like I said, when I go on the run, you never know when I'm going to get arrested. So I try to do it like it was the last time every time. Like, I don't live life out there. I scramble when I'm out there. Everything I do out there is all like in the moment, take it while I can, and let's live it while it lasts. You know what I mean? And that's
So
not the
what-
life I want to be a part of.
What's going to change that even if you're not on parole, what's going to make that difference that you don't feel like you need to just take everything while you can get it?
Being able to have that time to realize that I have an opportunity to be able to figure it out, and that AP&P or anything else isn't going to interfere with that, for me to be able to learn and get on my feet, you know, instead of bringing me back to prison. I could say, you know what, maybe I don't like this lifestyle I'm living out here. Maybe it's time for me to get on my own damn my feet and get my life together. But I don't ever have that opportunity, I don't ever have that bulb of going off in my head to where I'm just like, you know what, I don't want this no more, because I come back to prison and then I just lose everything I have out there. Then I'm like, you know, screw this. So it's like, I take pleasure while I can. It's all in abundance while it's available to me. And I think off parole, not having that in the way, it will allow me them chances to be able to realize that for myself, like nature's law, I guess, to be able to realize that a man needs to get his stuff together.
Okay. Any mental health concerns?
For myself?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I honestly do. I've had problems with my anxiety and severe depression. Lately, it's been getting a little worse. My depression and my anxiety. I have like tics where I have like OCD and stuff. I pull my hair out, you know what I mean? I definitely have some mental health issues that I wish I could get addressed, but being within here, this place is so packed with requests that it's hard for them to really take care of everybody's mental health. And out there, I feel like I'd have more access, and I would love to be able to get myself into a place where my mental health is addressed.
So is it safe for me to assume that you're not on any kind of medication for mental health then?
Yeah, I haven't been on medication this time back since I've been here. No, I've just been, because it's always back and forth. You know, when I got out this last time, I was on medication. I was doing pretty good. But when I got discharged from the halfway house, they failed to give me my medication. So and I was so excited to getting out of there. I didn't even think about my meds. So I left my medication behind, you know, and I ended up just going out there without my meds and just kind of went on my own little thing again.
How's your physical health?
I would like to say it's pretty good. You
Yeah.
know, I feel pretty good about my physical health.
Well, is there anything else you want to discuss that we haven't covered?
I don't know if there's any like a mention as far as like my time that I've been here on. Like I've wanted to mention this a couple times, but I've always forgot. But so I got arrested February 28, 2009, and I'm on a 1 to 15.
Right.
I would have thought that would have been expirated in February of this year, but for some reason I didn't get 17 months credit. And I wasn't aware that I wouldn't have had no credit. Like there was never mentioned to me that I wouldn't get credit for time served on any deal that I've taken. And I was just kind of in the blue about that. And I'm just wondering, do you know any information about why that was done? Why 17 months I haven't been credited for?
Off the top of my head, no, that's something I'd have to look in depth at. So what I would do is I would ask you to write a letter, a very detailed letter to us. You have
written before, yeah. And the only thing I get is a copy of it in my blue packet for a response, but I never get an answer about it. I never know what's going on.
Yeah, I hate to say that it's probably not something I can figure out today just because it's pretty in depth. So I'd ask you to write another letter. I'm going to note in my report that you're going to write us a letter.
All
So
right.
that hopefully tracking that, but just be super specific and detailed at what you're looking for. And then hopefully we can get you an answer.
Okay. I
Okay.
appreciate that.
And then maybe do the letter attention time accounting.
Time accounting?
Yeah.
Attention time accounting?
Yep, that's the group that'll get it and be able to look at it.
Okay.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Good question though. Anything else?
I just really would like an opportunity. That's all. I just like a termination, like I said, but I don't think it would be like, I mean, who am I to say what's fair or not? But to myself, you know what I mean? My own concerns, I don't think pushing me all the way to that end date, that wouldn't be cool. I mean, I don't know. I would like a realistic opportunity to be able to succeed and within a timely period, because I've done a lot of time as it is, you know what I mean? Like, I think I've done enough time and I'm just tired. I'm giving up on it, you know what I mean? Where I keep losing things out there because I'm just having a difficult time parole. I mean, it's time to see what my real reason is, I guess. If I come back on something else and, you know, there is a problem, but where I'm not coming back on new charges and just simple violations, I would love an opportunity.
I can understand that. Agent Nunez, anything you'd like to add?
Not really too much. The reason why I was why I know he was kind of saying that APP wasn't allowing him to, be successful. But the reason why he was coming to our office so often was because he is in intensive, and also when someone is not in treatment and doesn't have a job, and can't get food, I do see him more in my office more often to kind of help guide him, trying to send to DWS to help him find a job. I was very encouraging for him to do certain things. I even looked up for him how to, the food shelters to go find himself his food. I was trying to get him set up for DWS in my office. Taking that time to actually really, really try to help him. So I, hope he doesn't think that APP was prohibiting him from doing well when we're trying to. I took more time with Mr. Garcia than I did with any other of my offenders because he needed the help the most, to the point where I even gave him a bottle of water and food out of my drawer because he was hungry and he was looking pretty skinny. So we tried to do everything possibly can to support him and get him the help that he actually needed. Unfortunately, when he does use, he gets paranoid and he spirals out. So
once again, I want people to think APNP was prohibiting him from being successful. We were trying to help him be successful because he didn't have those things or those skills to do on his own.
Thanks. Ms. Connors, anything to add?
No, thank you.
All right, Mr. Garcia, I'll accept your admissions to allegations 1, 2, 3, 9, and 10. I'll accept your no contest pleas to allegations 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. With that, I'll recommend your parole date of May 7, 2024 be revoked. You've been through this process plenty of times. You know how things work. I'll write a report summarizing the conversation that we've had. That report will include Agent Nunez's recommendation as well as Ms. Conyers' recommendation. The board members will review it and they'll make a decision. Once they've reached their decision, you'll receive a notice from them. It could take a couple weeks for that notice to work its way back to you. In the meantime, if you have contact with friends or family or anybody on the outside, you can ask them to check the board's website next week. The decision will hopefully be posted there by then, and then somebody can let you know what the decision was, okay?
What do you think, sir, as far as like based off your like experience and knowledge of everything, just to kind of get me in my head about it so I kind of have preparation for it all, because this is towards the end of my whole sentence, you know what I mean? And I don't know what can be done. I just want to kind of get a better grasp, you know, and also on top of everything, you know, Agent Nunez, he has been an awesome like agent, you know what I mean? Like I have no quarrels with that, but as far as like his hands being tied in certain situations, you know, but as an agent, you know, he's been a good person, you know, I really give him that, and I appreciate his help. But I'm hoping I don't have to go under the care of AP&P again. I just want to be able to try this out for myself, you know?
Yeah, I hate to guess what's going to happen because I don't get to make the decision. You know, I just present the recommendations to the board members and they decide. So I think the worst thing that I can do is tell you what I think is going to happen because frankly, I don't know. And so sometimes if I tell you what I think is going to happen and then that doesn't happen, I'll just set you up to be upset at the board and the system and yourself, and it just kind of puts you in a deeper hole. So I just don't want to do that because I don't know.
Right. Well,
and I think that's unfair to do to you.
It's all right.
So, I mean, obviously, worst case scenario is they could keep you for another year.
I really hope not. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I hope, you know, we hope not, but that is the absolute worst thing that could happen. It's not like they're going to keep you for another 15 years or something like that.
Right.
So I'd say anything between today and a year, but I don't.
The 15 years has already happened, so.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's not like you've got 15 more years to serve.
Oh, good thing.
So,
okay.
That'll conclude the hearing. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Good to go?
All right, today's the time and place scheduled for a parole violation hearing for Mr. Lawrence Davis, offender number 229167. Present is Agent Hampton from AP&P as well as Ms. Conyers, counsel for Mr. Davis. Prior to coming on the record, we were notified that Mr. Davis has elected not to attend the hearing and has asked Ms. Conyers to represent him. Ms. Conyers, how would you like to proceed?
Yes, that is true. Mr. Davis asked me to represent him here. We would enter denials and seek a continuance for 30 days as he does have pending charges.
Okay. Agent Hampton, any objection?
No objection.
Okay. What I'll do today then is I'll enter denials simply as a placeholder and recommend a continuance. I'd encourage Mr. Davis to write the board a letter once his charges are resolved so that we can get him back on the calendar sooner than later. Anything from anybody?
No, that's it.
That'll conclude the hearing then. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jared. We'll see you soon.
Okay, see you next week. Thanks, everybody.